Recovery is key, and that'll be the focus this week after running 100 kilometers Saturday. I did the 100-kilometer Great Southern Endurance Run last Saturday, but now it's time to walk, stretch, and recover. Recovery can have a lot of different facets. Mainly for me, it's hydration, nutrition, active recovery such as walking, and then some muscle activation with foam rolling. Other folks use massage guns and other tools. I have used a professional orthopedic masseuse as well with good success. So there's a lot of tools and techniques out there at your disposal. Just find what works for you. As I'm sure is abundantly obvious by now, I'm no expert in the matter, but I'd love to learn more. If you have any resources that you'd like to share, strategies, routines, stretching especially, or resources, drop those in the comments below. I'd love to learn more about what you like to do when you're recovering from a big run or a race. In addition to recovery, I wanted to take some time to do a little race recap as well. So of course, Saturday I ran the Great Southern Endurance Run. It's a point-to-point 100K from Kennesaw Mountain in Marietta, Georgia, down through the city of Atlanta and up back to the summit of Stone Mountain. It's an incredible adventure and a great sightseeing opportunity of the city. And overall, it was just phenomenal. It was a great adventure. It was an epic day, and I loved so much of it. But of course, it was also a tough day. There were parts that were just plain miserable, and some of that's conditions, some of that is on me too. So I did not train specifically for this. I didn't have a long run to speak of within the month prior, which is not a good training strategy. But I did have a good training event about 2 months ahead of this. Back at the end of February, I did my first Last Runner Standing event, and that was it was fun just to experience that format. But I wound up with 42 miles that day back in February with 8,000 feet of vertical gain. So it was a tough course, it was a challenging day, but when I finished, it was just because of timing out with the format. I still had some in the tank, I finished, and I was still happy. The same probably can't be said for Saturday. I think I left it all out there. I had a good day. I actually PR'd the distance. It was my personal best for 100K. That is all due to the friend that I made on the course, Azam. You saw him in the video. We had never met before about 5:30 a.m. when we were just a couple miles into the run, and for the next 60 miles we ran together. And I want to say that we helped each other for most of the day, but there's no doubt that at the end of the day, he pulled me along. He's the reason I got my PR, and definitely the reason that I had such a good time. Ultras are incredible for that, for the community, for the culture, for the people that you get to meet. It's just a privilege to go out there and to get to do what we do, and in the process, we get to make friends. It's really something special. So that was the biggest factor to my success, was finding someone that was able to pace with for much of the race. And then I got lucky in that it was someone who was kind enough to wait for me in the later miles when he was still a little fresher than I was. We played with our trucks in the dirt after work. Now we're gonna stretch out and foam roll.
Me too.
Yes, sir. Today's Friday, 6 days out from the race, and we're feeling good. Yesterday was my first day back running with an easy, slow 2 miles with a stretch break at the turnaround point. And I was feeling better by the time I finished than when I began. So today we're shooting for 3 miles. We've talked about recovery and we've recapped most of the race. But as I've been editing the race footage this week, I realized that since I'm filming myself and I'm new to this, I probably didn't get some of the real raw emotion really and truly captured. So I wanted to talk to you some about that aspect, about the late stages of the race when it comes down to mental and physical fatigue, and you got to battle it out. For this particular race, that difficulty began in the last leg, say the final 20 miles or so. You've got 40 miles on your legs, you're tired, sun's high in the sky, it's getting warm, you're wanting to quit, you want to finish. You've got in your mind you're over halfway, but in reality that doesn't mean much. It's still a long way to go, and we all know it. Yeah, you can say those numbers as often as you want. It's never just 20 miles. 20 miles is 20 miles, whether you've never run that far before or not. It does get easier, I promise you that. But when you're late in the race, it's not going to be easy. Nothing will. Taking that next step won't be easy, but you just got to do it. And that's what it comes down to. It's perseverance. It truly is mind over matter. Whether you want to do it or not, you force yourself to keep going. The extra mile, the last leg. Particularly in this race, you're mentally engaged because of all the sights you're seeing when you're in the city of Atlanta. So as you leave the city of Atlanta, heading towards Stone Mountain, really on your last leg, the route, it does straighten quite a bit. You're not taking nearly as many turns, maybe not having to pay quite as much attention to your navigation, as well as not seeing as much happening around you as you had earlier. So you are having more opportunity to focus on what you're doing and the activity at hand, the pain that may be occurring, the difficulty certainly that you're enduring. And that's when you have to reconcile the physical pain, the mental anguish with the task at hand. And so you have to just work through those instances that may be those low points. You'll work through the difficulty and you just tell yourself you got to keep going. You may have mantras that you repeat to yourself. You may visualize the finish line. You may visualize your family waiting for you, or whatever reward may be at the end for you. If it's the goal race that you've been looking forward to, if it's your first ultramarathon, your first marathon, your first half marathon, your first 5K, you can visualize attaining that goal and renew your mind and spirit that way. Whatever trick it takes, you just look within yourself to find the strength and work through it. To add to that, I'll say if it is your first ultramarathon that you're preparing for, I think that's going to be key, is preparing yourself for pain. Mentally being aware that it won't be easy. Having the tools in your toolbox, resources ahead of time, prepared to rely on, to fall back on. Know your why, if you've got it, why you're running, why you're reaching for that finish line, why you've put in the hours of training day after day, month after month. You've got a why. Think about that, figure out what it is, hold it close, remember it on race day. You're gonna need it. Also, go ahead and before time look up some of those mantras. Find something that speaks to you, that resonates with your heart, with your soul. A quote, verse, lyric, whatever it is that means something to you, that will help you get through a dark patch, something you can repeat to yourself. Have that on board, have that preloaded in your mind that you can fall back on when times are tough. So that's one thing that you can do to prepare mentally. Physically, just get out there and do it. Consistency is key. That's what you gotta keep doing. Get out there and do it every day. Get out there and do it when it rains. Get out there and do it when it's hot, when it's cold. Lace up your shoes, get out the door, and get it done. And that's a wrap for Recovery Week. Eat, sleep, drink, repeat, and enjoy the time off. You earned it.